that I wanted to show is some of the common mistakes with bow holds. Thing that I wanted to show is some of the common mistakes with bow holds and how we can go about fixing those. So the first one is the pinky problem. So most people are trying to hold this thing and they've got this and their pinky comes over the top. Now some of this is you have to build up muscle strength in your pinky and your arm. So one of the things that we encourage beginning students to do is to do a couple extras. Now I'm going to pull back a little bit so you can see these. The first is 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. This is a couple that I like to do. So here's the 12 o'clock position. I'm going to go to 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock back and forth. And this actually simulates the motion of the back and forth that you get when crossing strings. We also have one, in fact I'm going to lower this a little bit so you can see the tip, called rocket ship, in which you pull your bow straight up into the air and watch the tips to make sure that it is straight up, and you pull it straight down, and straight up, and straight down with your arm. And this actually simulates the motion that you get when you're moving your bow straight back and forth. The final exercise is called the spider, and it's actually extremely crucial. I like to encourage students to be able to do at least 4 times up and down with this, and it builds finger dexterity as well as a lot of strength in your muscles. And so what you do is you slowly work your way up the bow, just like a spider. And when you get to the top, this is actually the crucial part. You don't want to create any support system here. You want to actually have your arm do the work on this, because what it's going to do is it's going to build muscles inside of your arm that become extremely essential for holding the bow and being able to do the flexibility exercises that we need to. So we have that pinky right here. And one of the other things you can do with this, in addition to the exercises, just making sure that you're exercising your arms, is if it starts to come off, a big thing that we want to do is we want to tilt this bow and turn it until that pinky comes like this. Sometimes I'll see a pinky like this as well. When I see a pinky hyperextended like this, when it's sort of, I guess not hyperextended, but when it's really curled, it creates a lot of tension in the wrist right here. And so what we want to do is sort of relax that, kind of relax it out. And sometimes that's just a matter of adjusting the angle of the bow back and forth so that we can get the proper placement of it, the easiest kind of placement of that. We also don't want it hyperextended like this. When it's hyperextended, it creates, again, a lot of tension, and so we kind of just want to relax it like that. Another thing that I often see is a thumb through this part right here. If you look at the pressures of this, what's happening with this is you've got a push that is not meeting up against a pull. So this is where balance also becomes important, that we pull that back so that we balance it, a push against a pull like that. One final thing with bow holds that I encourage students to watch out for is this right here. If you look at how high my thumb is, sometimes it'll be down here in other spots, but it's not quite balanced with all of my other fingers. My thumb is sort of pushing up this way, and there's a lot of imbalance right here. Now to hold this a lot lighter, what we do is we actually just balance that out like that. One other final thing is that sometimes we bring our fingers close together. Now there is actually a Russian bow hold, and I don't know it very well, so I'm not going to show it to you. There's actually a video Itzhak Perlman does that shows the Russian bow hold. I'll put a link in the description so you can see that video. But what we want to do is we actually want to spread the weight out a little bit. Now, too much spread and it creates a lot of tension. But if we have our fingers close together, it doesn't create a balance and it doesn't create a spread on the weight to make it actually feel lighter in our hands. So we spread our fingers out just a little bit, and that creates a nice balanced bow hold, so we can do amazing things with our bow and with our instrument.